Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Christine with Powder Crafts, and today we'll be making 4 cards using the Scrapping for Less Flavor of the Month February card kit. So we have collection 1 here, and we will be using sketch number 4. The sketches can be found on the Scrapping for Less website, so you just go over to the website, there's a downloads tab, and you can go ahead and print that off or download it to your computer or however it is that you want to use them. If you want to use them, they're just some inspiration to go along with the card kits. Card kits come in 2 different levels, so things that you'll be seeing today on today's video is just using products that you would get in the double dip sundae. You'd also get it in the banana split level, but we won't be using any of the banana split items today. So I've chosen my pattern paper for this card. I'm just going to grab my little paper trimmer here and go ahead and cut those down. You'll see my fancy measuring when I just use a little pencil to make a little tick mark. We'll go ahead and cut those down. And I decided that this rainbow striped paper just didn't pop enough against that green, so I'm just going to back that with a little bit of black cardstock. So I'll go ahead and give that a trim. So once those are done, I'm going to go ahead and put that aside because we are going to stamp our mini baker Marcy. So she's holding a bowl making I have her making cookies. You can have her making cake, brownies, whatever you want. I decided I was going to have her make some chocolate chip cookies. So on this scrap piece of paper here, I'm going to stamp the image, but I want to make sure that my die will cut around her. So I actually end up just putting it down on the piece of paper and taping that down so that I could stamp her exactly where I want her, so she'll be centered within that oval. Just using my Memento Tuxedo black ink because I'm just going to use some Copic markers to color her in. So once she is all stamped out, I'm going to run her through my Cuttlebug and cut the image out. And now we're going to color her. I do try my best to make sure that I put the colors on screen so you can see which ones that I am using. So for the coloring, I'm just using different shades of some Ease for her skin tones. And I'm doing some blonde hair. When I do blonde hair, I have been using the W2 marker. I kind of helped dull down some of the yellows a little bit so it's not so bright. I don't have a ton of Copic markers, but I do try to have some in different shades of the same color. If you had some duller yellow markers, you might not need to use that warm gray there, but sometimes those grays really help add to colors that you don't already have because they can kind of act as a darker for like some shadows, or if you just want to tone down a color if it's too bright. And just depending on the look, you could use some cool grays or the warm grays for that. So with her little dress, wanted her little dress to match her headband there, just using some different shades of blues and purples. I thought these colors would match the paper. And see here, I don't really have a variety of purple markers, so I'm just kind of doing a tip-to-tip method to kind of blend those two completely different kind of purples. And I was kind of happy, or I wasn't kind of, I was happy with how that came out. So just finishing up the bowl here with some cool grays and her shoes to match like the little apron that she's wearing, and just some little finishing touches. I did not want to mat this on some black, so I just took my Memento ink and went ahead and just added a little bit of black to the edge of that oval die. Just go ahead and score my card base, and we'll start to assemble this card. Now you'll see there I have this sticker from the cardstock and it wasn't coming off. It's actually going to rip the cardstock. So when I work on the inside of the card, I'll show you how I hide that. If I would have thought about it sooner, or actually not really thought, but if I would have noticed it sooner, I would have you put it on the front or the back of the card, however it would have been able to fold, but I didn't notice it until after I'd already put down that panel. It's not a huge deal. I'm just going to put a white mat on the inside of this card, but I do cut a couple of pieces of cardstock, the pattern paper, to cover that up. So from the pattern paper, I did grab a heart die and die cut a few of those hearts to kind of match a little bit on what is on the sketch. And this sentiment is so funny. It's life is short, lick the bowl. Which is so funny that I think that's funny because I think licking the bowl is kind of gross. I don't know why. I know it's not a big deal, but okay. So I've got my white mat on the inside, and here's where I'm kind of playing with some of these fishtail like little banner pieces to kind of finish that inside and hide where that sticker was. So there we have card number 1. So we are going to move on now to card number 2, and this is collection 2. So you'll see we have Luca here. He is called Mini Heart Cookies Luca. We have our 6x6 sheets of paper. We have some good size ephemera with this collection. So if you didn't want to use the stamp set, you could probably make a decent card just using the ephemera because the images are so large. So I'm using, again, one of the sketches. I think it's sketch number 3. I'll confirm that in the description below. I don't have the sheet in front of me, and I kind of zoomed in on my camera, but I believe it's sketch 3. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm using a ton of different papers from this collection to make this card. And I thought later, I maybe should have backed these pieces with some black paper to kind of have them stand out from one another, but I didn't think of it at the time, and it looks fine just the way it is. So lots and lots of different pattern papers. I really liked the rolling pins. I thought that was kind of fun. So I just used a little bit of a strip there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the rest of it because I think it's like too much for an entire card, but I do like that you can make the strips with it. So we're going to go ahead and stamp Luca down again using the Memento Tuxedo black ink, and we will zoom in a little bit as we color him in. So again, I try to make sure the colors are in. If I miss one, I apologize. Sometimes you just get into making the card that you forget sometimes that you're filming, or at least I do. So I apologize if he goes out of camera view a little bit, or if the colors are not made readily available. So again, I'm using some cool grays for his hat and just using some different E's for the skin tone. And he is going to get some kind of reddish brownish hair. And then we'll go ahead and start coloring all the little images. Using just some, I want again to kind of match. When I'm coloring these images, I try to use some similar colors to what is in the pattern paper I'm using, or at least ones that are going to match the pattern paper. So he's kind of being colored with some primary colors and just a variety of the grays. So I'm using the warm grays for his apron because I want to use a cool gray for the cookie sheet, and I didn't want them to kind of blend together, so I chose the warm grays for his apron and the cool grays for his hat and the cookie sheet. So now that he's done, I fussy cut him out, and we are going to go ahead now and assemble all the layers of this card. I thought I could use that what's cooking, but it was just a little bit too big. If it would have been nice if it's just a little bit smaller for this particular card idea I wanted, but I end up using it on the inside of the card because I did want to use some of this ephemera. But the nice thing about using sketches is, you know, once you have everything kind of cut and your image is ready to go, it can be really quick to put the cards together. Sometimes, I shouldn't say sometimes, I do. I have images already colored and set to go. So if I need something kind of quick, I can just, you know, cut down some pattern paper and put an already colored image on there, and it doesn't take too long to make a card if you need a card in a hurry. As I've mentioned before, I like to keep colored images on hand because sometimes I just don't know what I want to make for a card, so I'll just color some images. So there we have card number 2, and on the inside I have a white mat, and I used 2 of the ephemera pieces. What's cooking? So moving on to collection 3. I really thought collection 3 would be great for like making some tags or, you know, labels for baked goods. I kind of felt this one will be perfect for more of a fall theme. And I think it's just because I tend to bake more in the fall. So when I was putting this card together, that's all I was thinking of was all the different things that I do in the fall and how great this whole set would be for that. So I'll probably save some of these papers for fall. So you might see this particular collection make a comeback in right around October. But it totally goes with the theme of this month, which is baking type things. So we are going to go ahead and use the sentiment from this stamp set that says, "Hi, cutie pie." There is a Thanksgiving sentiment, but obviously it's not Thanksgiving, but it'll be great for when Thanksgiving comes around. So this image is super easy to color. It's kind of small. There's not a lot of colors involved. And so just stamping that again with some Memento Tuxedo black ink. I'm going to bring in just a few different brown colors to color in this pie after I kind of cut all of these pieces. So for the Hi Cutie Pie, I am using this like sentiment fishtail stitched banner kind of die. I'm sorry, I don't have the name of it right in front of me. I use this die all of the time. You'd think that I would know the name of it already, but I will put it in the description below. So again, just coloring this image simply, I'm also going to go ahead and fussy cut it. So my coloring is going to be kind of sloppy because I'm going to just fussy cut right up to the line. So these E's ended up being a little bit too light, but I didn't want to go too dark because I didn't want it to blend into the bottom part of that pie. Again, just some really simple coloring, and then I'm grabbing one of the little faces from the stamp set and stamping the face right there in the middle of the pie. So cute. Super easy to fussy cut out. And now we're just going to go ahead and assemble this card. So I think I'm using sketch number 2 on this one. I'm sorry if I'm getting these mixed up. Doing this voiceover, I don't have all of these elements in front of me, but I didn't want to hold off on getting this video up anytime soon because a lot of you are probably starting to get your kits, and maybe this can inspire you. if sometimes you're like me and you look at stuff and wonder what you're going to do with it. So hi, cutie pie, so cute. And we'll go ahead and we're going to put the little pie right there up on a little bit of foam tape. Going to add my white mat on the inside, and this is where my tape runner runs out of tape. And my refills are still packed, so I'm using some wet glue to finish this card and also for the next card. So this collection is fun. It has this stamp set here from Scrapping for Less. It is called Cookie Mouse. I loved the sentiment, without you, I would crumble. I also think the one that says some days require cookies is really cute. And then there's like a bunch of little stamp sets, or like little stamps that you can make whatever sentiment you want out of it. And I think this little mouse is super adorable. So again, we're going to just cut down all of our pattern paper. And with this one, I cut down the milk and cookie paper first, but then I decided it actually looks better over that kind of blue paper. So I grabbed the little scrap and we're going to use that instead. And we're going to add some more milk and cookies because why not? And we'll cut this down again. And make a little strip of these like little milk cartons. I thought those were cute. So our pieces are all put together. We're going to go ahead and stamp and color the mouse. And I will end up fussy cutting him out. I do not show the coloring of him because at this point my camera battery was getting low and I did not want to have to put it all aside to finish up for the next day. So I just shut it off and colored the mouse. The video is also getting kind of long. I don't know if you guys like all the coloring. Do you want me to leave it in? Do you want me to take it out? Maybe show one coloring? Let me know in the comments if you like to see that or not. So now we're just going to go ahead and assemble him. We're putting him on the card with some foam tape. And then once that is all set, I'm going to just cut that little piece right off and add a white mat to the inside of my card. And then I'm just going to stamp the sentiment on the inside of the card just using some Memento Tuxedo black ink. And there we have card number 4, and that stamp set is Some Days Require Cookies. So here are all 4 cards. Thank you all so very much for joining me. Thank you for your patience. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. But until next time, bye.